being here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You may be surprised to find a speaker coming all the way down from Germany to talk to you about Indian BFSI solutions. Not going to do that, obviously, because my colleagues, they know the Indian ecosystem and the Indian BFSI space much better than I do. But I've come here because WebID Solutions in Germany has developed a great piece of software enabling banks to close the gap in their online retail channels. And just need to. The world, as my colleagues also have mentioned quite rightly, is ever growing. The digital channels are taking more and more space, and I was very impressed by the achievements of Samsung already in that space when it comes to KYC. Is quite challenging. However, online retail in banking and in the financial services domain in general has always been a challenge, as regulatory requirements have been a roadblock. Regulatory requirements typically mandating customers to physically appear in the branch office or a branch representative to visit the customer, as shown in the example from my colleague from Samsung. And what we see a lot in your rural banking engagements, where people use mobile devices, travel around, interview people, and open bank accounts through that. WebID has developed a software and a process and a system that enables banks to do away with that by providing an end-to-end online process being fully compliant with AML and KYC requirements. I have to add, it is currently fully compliant with AML and KYC requirements in Germany. But we are very positive that this can be transported to any other country that has similar requirements, and there are a lot of similarities in the KYC and AML requirements between India and Germany. And our initial research into the matter has shown that we are quite positive that this is something that can help Indian banks as well as the Indian regulators and governments to open the doors to enable the end-to-end online processes. As I said, in Germany it has been approved by the German regulator BaFin as well as the Ministry of Finance in Germany, and it comes out of the box with hardly any upfront investment required on behalf of the banks to implement this. When we talk about online identification, or when we talk about KYC identification in general, what is the main goal? The main goal is to establish whether the person we are looking at is the person he claims to be by means of some kind of photo ID document. It being the Aadhaar system that can match the thing, or it being a passport, it being an ID card. Online identification as developed by WebID is easy, is convenient, is secure. WebID has developed a couple of patent-protected security mechanisms to prevent fraud in the online transactions. When we talk about pure online processes, we don't have anybody there to verify, physically to verify the person. So obviously you will be targeted by various attempts of hacking and other attacks. Online identification is easy to adopt. Our online identification method fits seamlessly into the existing order process. Customer fills in the online application to open a bank account and is then redirected into the proper identification scenario. It's affordable, as I said. It doesn't require any upfront investments for implementing it. It will work in India, supporting Indian RBI-approved identification documents. WebID plans to support identity cards, passports, Aadhaar, possibly driver's licenses, as per the RBI specification of valid identification documents. We have a few references from Germany which are using this system now in Germany. ING DiBa is one of the largest European pure online banks. They have 0 physical branches in Europe. Targo Bank is former Citibank in Germany. They have been renamed after there was some incident. Barclaycard. Warengold Bank is a mostly FX trading bank that deals a lot in with customers from abroad, from outside of Germany, now enabling them to identifying them without having to go into a branch. American Express is also using the system in Germany for the credit card application process. The online identification is very simple. It's 6 steps. The customer enters his data in any internet-enabled PC or mobile device on the bank's online application form. I want to open an account. I am Andreas Goga from Germany. This is my details. Then, upon confirming that he wants to open the account, he will be redirected to the Web ID systems, which will immediately start verifying for fraud prevention. Are the URLs right? Are the IP addresses right? Is the traffic right? How is the channel monitored? Then the customer will pre-identify himself with an official ID document by holding his ID card or passport in front of a camera on the device, and followed in a full identification in a video call where an operator from the Web ID will additionally match the identity of the person towards the official ID document. Therefore, we are implementing a dual mechanism, both automated, machine-based supported, as well as human. The results will be end-to-end encrypted and transmitted back to the banks. So the banks will obtain all the necessary documentation and of the identification immediately without any further paperwork required. The customer itself will complete the process through entering a 6-digit TAN, again confirming that he is the one who has initiated that. I will skip the detailed steps as the time for the presentation is a little bit shorter than I had expected, as well as the live demo. WebID has come here to India, as I said, to demonstrate what we have done and what we have achieved in Germany, with the hope that this can be transported to India and enable Indian BFSI institutes as well as RBI and government in their endeavors, being it financial inclusion, reaching out to the rural areas, but also enabling banks and customers in general to retain a fully online process while identifying himself. Typically, marketing tells us whenever we have a media breach in our online process, or whenever we have a breach in our process, the customer has decided he wants to open an account, he wants to subscribe for a product, and then he has to go to a branch or he has to wait for someone to come. That waiting time usually turns around in a quite big drop rate, and the customer can change his mind. By keeping him in an online environment and enabling him to identify himself in an online transaction, he will likely not change his decision so easily. Thank you.